talk through how feeding the pigeons is in any way rewarding, educational, or I don't know, anything. Just talk through it. Well, I'll probably forget some bits, but okay, first of all, here it is as being as a rewarding part of, going outside. It's what we do when we get to the end of the point. We'll do this rather than like get here, we'll have a bag of sweets. Reward-based training is supposed to, you mix it up, don't you? You don't always have the same reward for one because you're working on not using a reward at some point. It's like maybe an enticement, I suppose. Is that legal? Well, yes, I suppose it is. In some cases, let's go such and such. We don't have to put these things in and feed the pigeons. So we have to walk, in this case, from point A to point B to feed the pigeons. Or the horses, or whatever else. Now, in the case of feeding the pigeons the other day, we also had to go to the market, to the pet stall. We didn't have to, but we did. I mean, sometimes I take stuff with me. So we had the experience of shopping, asking the person for the things we wanted, and paying for it. So passing over money and bringing, getting change back if that's appropriate. We do that a little bit in shops when we go over. I mean, I'm getting her to give the coins to the person and take it back again. She's interacting with the shop people, and we haven't really done a lot of coin work, but we're beginning. You'd like this, wouldn't you? Need to get introduced to the coin. And so that's one thing. But I can't be bothered to talk about anything else. That's it, really. That's all I can think of saying. But what else has she learned about pigeons? Observation I've talked about in other places. All the rainbows on their necks, the iridescent feathers, the differences in the, the patterns. The patterns on this one is different to these two are patterned different to those two, which I hadn't noticed before, so I'm noticing. There's some got like Nike ticks on their wings and some that are completely different. So they're different, either there's differences anyway, maybe male and female. I don't know, or just whatever, difference. So with differences, so we start on sorting and things like that. There's loads of things to do. And the numbers of them, and do you know what? Here there's loads of pigeons. We go to another spot, there's less of them, but these ones look similar to those ones over there. I wonder if they've come across. It's a million different things you can learn from it. It's not just the pigeons, it's just something to, what do you want us to do, Tess? What do you want us to do all the time with our lives? Seriously? Go to the theatre? Go to the theatre? What, every day? I don't want to go to the theatre every day. I want to go and feed the pigeons. Work for the theatre at Christmas or something. She needs to get out of the house occasionally. Do you not understand this? She needs to go out and have some fresh air. We don't just want these people to grow up into people who just want to sit in the pub when they get to like 15 or 16 or whatever age it is you go to the pub these days. Because do you know what? There are other things to do in the world. We're supposed to be introducing some of these concepts to people. There are other things outside of your four walls in the pub. Do you know what? Pigeons. That's your choice. You can go to the pub or you can feed the fucking pigeons. What do you want to do? Okay? Or we can go for cake with the pigeon lady and talk about other things. What are we talking about in there? T-shirts. And we'll get onto block printing and art college. I mean, Christ's sake. I want to just go and feed the pigeons. I don't want to feed the pigeons. But that's how that becomes rewarding. That is the reward at the end of the point, isn't it? Well, we'll go off and do this today. I mean, you don't even realise you're being rewarded. Let's go and feed the pigeons, as an example, or the horses, which is even further to walk that way, which is why I broke it down into another. We stopped at another calf and fed the pigeons. We had lunch and broke it down, so we had a longer walk, so we're building in distance. For somebody whose legs hurt, they walk 20 yards a lot of the time. She can walk quite far with the right motivator. And then the reward the other day was she wanted to come back to mine. And I read a song and dance saying about she demanded to come back here. But you know what? No, she'd actually been quite good. And I was sort of thinking through my head, what are we actually going to do if she comes back here? Because I was tired, so we went and bought some felt pens because I hadn't got any here. Just so she could sit and do 5 minutes colouring, really, before I took her home. That in itself was the reward for, well, I can't remember what we'd done, but walking probably. Well, and she'd asked to come here, so do you know what? I don't want to make it a negative experience spending time with me because, well, I don't. So that was rewarding. So, pen work is rewarding. Do you understand what I'm doing? Building in positive associations between whatever. Sitting at the table again, she had to sit at the table and do the colouring. My scrappy little art table, but still a table. And they only have a short amount of memory, so she did a bit of colouring of that puzzle. What else she did? I can't remember. Then got the doll's house out, I think, which I put on the table this time. Because the dog wanted to play. She would play teachers herself, so I put the doll's house on the table. And then she bought me all the dolls and said, "Can you put the clothes on them?" Which made me laugh because I was just lying on the floor thinking, "Oh Christ!" I remember when I bought these two dolls, Xavier and Susan or whatever their names were, and the first thing she had to do was pull off their clothes and put them naked into bed. And they've stayed naked ever since. And then she bought me them the other day in their clothes. "Can you put their clothes back on?" So I did. So now they're dressed back in the house. And I was tired and snappy because I was tired and snappy. But we've talked through that as well. Some people just sometimes are snappy. I snapped the other day about something, but that's, in the long term going to be helpful because it's going to help her understand other people's, say, emotional regulations, like her parents. That's the end of story. So there, I think that's it, to be honest. I do read a book sometimes, Tess, as you know. But if I'm not in the mood to do it, it doesn't become rewarding, does it? If I'm finding it a chore to do it, it carries over. You forget I had a head injury for one. But, in fact, it's none of your fucking business how I articulate our time together, how I wrote her in different activities. It's none of your business. Partly it's supposed to be child-led, partly it's like, it's supposed to be, do you know what, we need to get out and do some outside stuff. And some exercise. So how many exercise sessions are you supposed to have a week at school? Hey? Structure, that's the word. How I structure our timetable is none of your goddamn business. Don't tell Mummy. Don't tell Auntie either. You can't be saying, don't tell such and such, and then at the same time be saying, don't lie. Don't lie to me, but don't tell such and such. What the hell's that? Talk about conflicted messages. What are they called? Grey boundaries. Think of one thing Tess said, don't tell. I can't remember. I don't know what she's trying to do. I was trying to work out. Are you trying to make it seem like we've got this sisterly bond by sharing a secret? Don't tell anyone, but I'm thinking, what? How old are we? Don't tell anyone, but I'm in Super Adventurers Club. Oh, what, they let you in, did they? What Super Adventurers Club? It was a thing off South Park. And it was to do with teachers, I think. It was like Illuminati for schools. It was just about right, to be honest. Just about right and true. How teachers get school children and pull them away from their parents, indoctrinated into a machine. Brainwashing children? Oh, probably. Welcome, my son. Welcome to the machine. Been in the pipeline, killing time. That's not the words. I don't think he cares. So one more thing that annoyed me about yesterday. I can't think of anything. It's not just yesterday, it's my whole life. Everything. Every scrap of wisdom. Don't tell anyone, but I know she's well indoctrinated into that group. Well indoctrinated into it. And I know she will present herself, particularly now she'd do it. She was probably doing it before without me knowing. But it's just obvious, it's screamingly obvious. You might as well walk around with labels on. As soon as people start using certain phrases, it's like, well, because it's that time when I'd said something and the next day she came around here and said something about burners. It's like, I put a post about burner phones the day before and she suddenly started using it like it was a cool word. It's like, oh. That's a word from the 80s. Why have you suddenly heard of it? Or why are you using it around here? Oh, why are you using it around me? I use it for a joke. Oh, a test piece, a crash test dummy. Since Matt Hancock's apparently working on me. I mean, at the moment, there's a big drug problem in Vodka Revolutions. Apparently, why don't you get some men in? Why don't you put some people in there, like scouting around? Massive drug problem. I don't know if they would have time to report them all to the police. It's probably too much. Why don't you put some men in there? Why don't you put some men on the ground, or women? A team, if you like. I'll speak to you later. I'll speak to you on the spoon, on the jam and spoon, alright?